Yeah, so on top of these guys up top not doing well. I also it's the strikers also weren't seeing a lot of the ball, like, cuz the ball just get lost. Like everything was being lost in the sauce. It was just a rough game for both teams. Like they just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the rain played a factor into that. I mean, I know it's always raining out there, and it was definitely raining that day. But boy, yeah, they did not look good whatsoever. I thought the best play in the first half was Lamens. I mean, across both teams, right? I thought he was the most consistent. Honestly, he's the best player because he made the least amount of mistakes. I mean, up to that point, right? Up to that point, he made the least amount of mistakes. So to me, he was like the best player in the first half. But it wasn't like anybody else was really screaming to be the best player in the first half. Like it was one of those games. Just yeah, not a great showing from either team. Honestly, from both ends of the field and for both halves too. Like it just Man U ended up winning. They ended up scoring that goal. But throughout the game, just no one really. It didn't seem like anybody was really going for it. And anybody was really gonna be like that clear. No, I'm gonna take this game over. It didn't really look like that, you know. And what's funny is going into the half though. I thought for Man U, what has been like what was working, I thought it was like, okay, you got to create some more chaos. And that's sort of what I thought was going to be the key for them. I thought, hey, try to get as many corners as possible and create some chaos because I think your best chance is going to be scoring on a set piece. It's interesting because that's what Everton ends up doing it like for the rest of the game. Basically, they're like, "Yo, we're gonna create as much chaos as we possibly can, get corners, like basically blitz the goalie." Like it's I don't know, I don't even know how that's allowed because basically they crowded Lamens every single time. At one point, it was 10 corner kicks to 0 for Man U, but they're crowding this guy. They're pushing everybody into him. I honestly don't know how that's legal, but apparently it is. It's such a it's such a not such a it's so clear that it's not a clean way to play the game. But yeah, some teams will do it, and some teams will be scrappy with it. Honestly, I thought that's what Man U were gonna do. I thought they were gonna do the same thing. I thought they were gonna be scrappy, and that they were just basically gonna try to get a goal from a set piece, regardless of what it looked like. I thought that's really what they were gonna do, but that's what that's what they ended up doing. I actually thought for Everton, what they could have done is just keep pushing the ball through the middle, because Man U's midfield was so penetrable. Like it was kind of bad how like Casemiro and Mainu to me did not have great games whatsoever. They Yeah, it didn't look good. I mean, at one point I was convinced Mainu just he was more willing to play he was more willing to attack than he was to defend, right? And in that position you got to do both. But, I saw his intensity when he had the ball at his feet, and there are opportunities that he was able to create. I saw that intensity kind of spark up. But at the same time, like, man, like you got to show that for the rest of the game. You got to show that throughout the game. But yeah, the midfield was atrocious for Man United. It was just, yeah. I mean, good for them that they caught Everton on a day that they couldn't really penetrate it and do something with it. But that, to me, that was kind of like their key to the second half. If they could have figured that out in the second half, I think they would have gave United a lot more problems than they did. But the set pieces, it was problematic for Man U. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how you defend that. Honestly, the way that they were taking those corners, I don't know if there's a way to actually defend that whatsoever. Um, yeah, it didn't seem like they had an answer to really defend it because it was just chaos. It was like, I think the only way to defend it was hoping that somebody gets fouled and the referee calls it, and just before a fight breaks out, right? Like I think that's the only way to stop that. But they tried to win. They tried to win as unskilled That's really what it is. It's an unskilled way to win games. That's what I think. It takes no skill to just be chaotic and try to create craziness. Arsenal FC, right? That's the kind of way that they were playing towards the end of the game. But yeah, and honestly, I thought this is why I was a little bit surprised when Ahmad came out the game, because to me he was truthfully, to me, he was kind of like one of their bright spots throughout that game. I thought he was the most consistent for them. Yeah, I thought he was definitely the most consistent, getting back on defense, and because there were a few times where the midfield just got, they just got ran through, and Ahmad would, he would come out of nowhere and just sprinting to get back on defense, and so I thought, yeah, I thought he needed to stay in, but yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they got the win. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, given the final score. But yeah, because yeah, for me it was. But it's a tricky front line though, because it's like, what do you do with him on? And I think I think having Bruno there makes things a little, because it's like you can't take Bruno out. Like you can't put somebody else at the cam position. You kind of have to play Bruno there. So, um, yeah. So it's one of those where it's tricky for Man U. One they got to figure out, but they're winning. They're winning. Honestly, for me, the moment Sheshko scored that goal, I said, okay, he's man of the match. Like he is. He comes in, scores the goal. It was to me, it was clearly the winner for that game. I thought the only thing that could potentially happen is in that craziness, that in the chaos that Everton were creating, that somehow they were gonna be able to, they were gonna score a goal, but no, it was. I think from the jump, it seemed like no, that was gonna be it. And no, he comes in and he does what he does what he's been doing. Honestly, he does what he's been doing, which is come in and affect the game. And he's been scoring goals. He's been scoring late goals for Man U. He's kind of Mr. Clutch Man. It's Benjamin time. Hey, hey, we could quote this right now. Benjamin time, or Ben time. I think I'm gonna say it's Benjamin time. Yeah, I think that's just it's. It seems like that's the way that he's affecting things right now, and he's making the most of the opportunities that he's getting, and that's what you can ask for a striker. Um, yeah, he's not he's he's creating chances and giving them real opportunities. And I thought for the final few minutes for Man U, like instead of wasting time, I thought no, just get the ball to Sesko. Like just let him be a threat to the defense. So I sort of disagreed with their approach in the last few minutes. They're trying to waste the time. I get it. I get you want to waste time, but I think one way you can play defense and really see a game out is just keep on yeah, just keep on putting the pressure on the defense. I mean, I gave Shesko the man of the match, but honestly, I think Lamens like realistically, I think Lamens deserves it. I will say okay, yeah, they were my two players to watch. To me, they were the best players out there on the field for both teams. Um, I think Lamens gets man of the match, and then Sesko's he's I mean he's your winner, right? He scored the goal, so I think that's a split, right? I think Lamens he had so many good saves, and he was just consistent. He was consistent at the end of the day. I think that was the biggest thing. So yeah, kudos to him. And again, the fact that they won, I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. They won that game. They had to win it, and they won it. So I think that's all that matters. Now they're sitting in number four spot, right? Chelsea is 3 points behind because they drew their last two games. And so, I mean, United could get into top three, right? They could get into that third position. Villa would have to drop one more, but I can see that happening. I can see that happening, and I think they're gonna be a clear top four team, right, to be in the Champions League spot. But we'll see. There's there's like 10 games left in the season or 11 games left for them. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, again, the amount of corners that Everton had to Man U. Man U had that one corner in the second half. That was it. That was it. But everything else, I don't think I didn't really care about all the other. None of the other stats really stood out to me. I think yeah, just the corners because it just showed what Everton was trying to do towards the end of the game. They were just trying to create chaos and that's what they did. So yeah, good stuff from both teams. I think let's see here. Man U, they're playing Crystal Palace next. They're playing on Sunday against Crystal Palace. Who's Everton playing next? Everton is going to be playing against. Let's see here. Oh, they've got Newcastle next. Yeah, Newcastle's an interesting one. Yeah, they're an interesting team. So we'll see what happens. Best of luck to them. Looks like they could, yeah, they could. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what their chances are as far as being out of mid table. Yeah, it looks. Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, technically they could still get to seventh place. They could potentially get to seventh place. I haven't seen all their games, so I don't know how they're playing all the time, but they have some chance. They have a chance to do something more with their season. So best of luck to them and best of luck to United. So, yeah, until next time, until the next match reaction.